Pablo Emilio Escobar Javira was born December 1st, 1949, in the slums of Rio Negro, Colombia. His father was a farmer and his mother was an elementary school teacher. As a teenager, in the public eye, Escobar was actively involved in local civic action programs and would organize and lead many student groups in high school with an activist-like demeanor. Behind the curtains, it is rumored that Escobar would steal tombstones, modify them, and then sell the tombstones for a profit. Escobar grew up during the Colombian political movement called La Violencia, which was a civil war between the Colombian Conservative Party and the Colombian Liberal Party. The violence during this period influenced Escobar's murderous intents. Pablo Escobar would eventually play a major role in Colombian politics. Escobar had the ambition of becoming president of Colombia, but modern history would recognize him as the most notorious criminal of the 20th century. King of the white, pasty substance that had an overwhelming presence in the country of Colombia, Pablo Escobar was one of the most infamous and murderous drug barons of the notorious Medellin cartel. Prior to his involvement in the drug trafficking industry, Escobar displayed an interest in the realm of crime as well as the characteristics of a leader at an early age. Pablo Escobar gained a position in the Colombian Congress in 1982. In order to gain support for his campaign, Escobar resorted to illegal means to fund the establishment of an exotic zoo for the purpose of attracting the public. In addition to this, he also provided the public with infrastructure and public services. Escobar funded many city projects to renovate the city of Medellin. The large wealth of Pablo Escobar's Medellin cartel funded most of his ventures, which in turn corrupted all institutions of Colombian society. Many people believe Escobar was in politics not to conceal his illegal drug activities, but to help the less fortunate. He helped the poor quite a lot, having grown up in the slums of Colombia himself. His generosity towards the poor helped create a constituency of supporters. Unlike most politicians who often neglect their promises to the supporters, Escobar continued his philanthropist activities even after his election, which would serve to benefit his cause in the future. As a consequence to these events, Pablo Escobar and his Medellin cartel enjoyed more illegal activities while most politicians turned a blind eye. A major export that comes from the country of Colombia is coffee. However, during the reign of Pablo Escobar's drug trafficking cartel, Colombian coffee ranked below the drug exports of the Medellin cartel, which earned sums of $2 to $4 billion a year. During the 1980s, 70 to 80% of cocaine and 50 to 60% of marijuana available in the US markets came from Colombia. As all great leaders began, they mostly worked their way up to the top of the ladder, which was exactly what Escobar had to do in the cocaine trafficking industry. He did not just want to be another pawn in the drug trafficking game. He wanted to have commanding control in it. Eventually, his reputation and command in this effort would quickly skyrocket as Escobar would be responsible for the assassination of Fabio Estrepo, a well-known drug leader in the Medellin cartel. Escobar would then gain control of his men, and from here, as the demand for cocaine increased, so would his position. Pablo Escobar earned a large sum of wealth from his drug business and was named by Forbes magazine in 1989 as the 7th richest man in the world, with a net worth of about $25 billion. So aware of the increased popularity of cocaine, Pablo Escobar's major goal was to transform Colombia into a country centered on the production and distribution of cocaine. His Medellin cartel eventually transformed the country of Colombia, especially the city of Medellin, into the hub for the cocaine industry. During the height of the drug industry's success, the Medellin cartel owned a good 1/3 of the country's agricultural land. In response to the large demand for cocaine in the US, Escobar organized more shipments, routes, and distribution networks in South Florida, California, and many other US locations. In addition, Escobar would play a role in the development of Norman's Cay, an island transshipment point in the Bahamas, which would serve as an essential smuggling route for the Medellin cartel for a period of time. Under Escobar's supervision, the Medellin cartel would grow to become the main supplier of cocaine to the US, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, and Spain. As often stated, the power of a leader is measured by their influence on society, and as reflected by the large effects that cocaine had on the US communities, Escobar was a ruthless yet powerful leader, and no one could bring him down. Pablo Escobar used violence and fear to influence government decisions to his favor. Pablo Escobar transformed Medellin into the most dangerous city in the world, thanks to his plata or plomo policy, which translates to silver or lead. Any threat to Escobar was either bribed or murdered. Escobar often recruited many of Medellin's youth to the Medellin cartel as young assassins. These assassins were known as sicaros from the slums of Medellin, contracted to assassinate policemen, politicians, journalists, or whoever posed a threat to Pablo Escobar or his cocaine empire. It is rumored that Pablo Escobar was behind the assassination of Luis Carlos Galan, a candidate for Colombian presidency in 1989 who had attacked Escobar and the Medellin cartel as outlaws.
Galan prepares to deliver a campaign speech in Sochoa, southwest of Bogota.
Pablo Escobar targeted him and had him killed.
When Pablo Escobar was actually denounced for his illegal activities and would have been extradited to the U.S., Escobar began a reign of terror on the country until the Colombian government removed extradition provisions from the Constitution. Aside from that, Escobar was also backed up by the same city he had provided various public services and infrastructure to, the city of Medellin. Pablo Escobar was seen as the modern-day Robin Hood towards the less fortunate. Escobar used his money to build neighborhoods for the poor. He bought houses for the homeless, creating Barrio Pablo Escobar. Escobar built soccer fields in the poor neighborhoods and donated tennis shoes to the nation's poor youth. The Medellin cartel also laundered money through the trafficking of contraband items that was then used to fund Colombia's national soccer team. Escobar and his cartel became the sole providers of Medellin's very own regional soccer team, El Nacional. Although he caused much terror on the country, the people of Medellin still loved him. So in essence, Escobar was invincible. Escobar was able to influence all aspects of the Colombian society through the Medellin cartel. Residents of Medellin of all social classes felt the effects of the presence of cocaine, thanks in due part to Escobar's cartel. Economists, politicians, and scholars assert, in no other country has the illegal drug industry had such dramatic social, political, and economic effects.
Es como mejor que tener una foto de unos 15 años en esa sala. Para nosotros, lo mejor que tenemos en esta casa son esos cuadros. Las queremos y las adoramos y las cuidamos. Porque para nosotros Pablo Escobar es como un segundo papá.
Pablo Escobar ha sido y es objeto de un proceso de reconstrucción de imagen, como se ha hecho en Colombia muchísimas veces, con muchísimas personas.
Aside from corrupting the country of Colombia, Pablo Escobar, alongside the Medellin cartel, also influenced the rise of another international narcotic drug trafficking organization known as La Oficina de Envigado. Prior to its rise, it served to aid the efforts of many drug lords, such as Pablo Escobar, through being hitmen or smuggling cocaine. From their experience in supporting major drug cartels, such as the Medellin cartel, the founders of La Oficina de Envigado were able to pick up the illegal trade and build their empire off that. And since then, in the fall of the Medellin cartel, La Oficina de Envigado has become one of the growing drug cartels of the world. Moreover, this just demonstrates how influential Pablo Escobar's leadership was on others. Soon after the extradition clause was removed from the Colombian Constitution, Pablo Escobar turned himself into the Colombian authorities without the fear of being extradited to the United States. He was tried for his crimes and then placed in La Catedral, a prison built for himself. Escobar was able to efficiently and effectively conduct his operations without being threatened by the government or rival cartels. After his escape from La Catedral, Escobar became the most wanted criminal in Colombia, triggering the largest manhunt in Colombian history, which further demonstrates how powerful and impactful, negatively, Escobar was that the country wanted him dead so bad. On December 2nd, 1993, Pablo Escobar was shot and killed on the rooftops of Medellin. With his death followed the decline of the Medellin cartel. To recap on the effectiveness of Pablo Escobar's legacy, he transformed Colombia into one of the largest cocaine processing and distributing trafficking organizations in the world. Although his crimes do outweigh his legacy, one must admit that he was in fact a great leader in the narcotic community.
Cuando el 1 de diciembre que lo mataron a él, aquí vino más de 4.000, parece 5.000 personas.
Fue un día de mucha tristeza, de mucha algarabía, todo el mundo lloraba.
Eso fue muy peso, eso fue algo que se quedó en la historia porque ningún hombre que está buscado pues que han buscado en el mundo, la gente lo seguía mucho. Oye, si estuviera viva, María, estuviera ayudando a mucha gente.